इदं शरीरं कौन्तेय क्षेत्रमित्यभिधीयते एतद्यो वेत्ति तं प्राहुः क्षेत्रज्ञ इति तद्विदः.
The Lord said, "This body is, O son of Kunti, Arjun, a battlefield, Kshetra, and the men who know it, Kshetragya, are called wise because they have grown spiritually dexterous by perceiving its essence. And be it known to you, O Bharat, Arjun, that I am the all-knowing self, Kshetragya, in all spheres, and to me awareness of the reality of Kshetra and Kshetragya, of mutable nature and the self, is knowledge. Listen to me briefly on the whence and what of that sphere and its variations and properties, as well as on the Kshetragya and his abilities. This has also been said in various distinct ways by sages in different scriptural verses and well-reasoned, definitive aphorisms on the knowledge of the Supreme Spirit. Brahma Sutra. Speaking briefly, mutable physical body is the aggregate of the 5 elements, ego, intellect, even the unmanifest, the 10 sense organs, the 5 objects of sense, as well as desire, malice, pleasure and pain, and intelligence and fortitude. Absence of pride and arrogant conduct, disinclination to do injury to anyone, forgiveness, integrity of thought and speech, devoted service to the teacher, outward as well as inner purity, moral firmness, restraint of the body along with the mind and senses, disinterest in pleasures of both the world and heaven, absence of ego, constant reflection over the maladies of birth, death, old age, sickness, and pain, detachment from son, wife, home, and the like, freedom from infatuation, bearing with both the pleasant and the unpleasant with equanimity, unswerving devotion to me with a single-minded concern for yoga, fondness of living in sequestered places, distaste for human society, constantly resting in the awareness that is called adhyatam, and perception of the Supreme Spirit, who is the end of realization of truth, are all knowledge, and whatever is contrary to them is ignorance. I shall discourse to you well upon the God without a beginning or end, who is worthy of being known, and after knowing whom the stuff of immortality is gained, and who is said to be neither a being nor a non-being. He has hands and feet, eyes, heads, mouths, and ears on all sides, because he exists, pervading all in the world. Knowing the objects of all senses, he is yet without senses. Unattached to and beyond the properties of nature, he is yet the sustainer of all, and he is also the one into whom all the properties merge. Existing in all animate and inanimate beings, he is both animate and inanimate. He is also unmanifest because he is so subtle, and both distant and close. The Supreme Spirit, who is worth knowing, and who appears to be different in different beings, although he is one and undivided, is the begetter, sustainer, and destroyer of all beings. The light among lights, and said to be beyond darkness, that God, the embodiment of knowledge, worthy of being known, and attainable only through knowledge, dwells in the hearts of all. Knowing the truth of what has been briefly said of Kshetra, knowledge, and of God, who ought to be known, my devotee attains to my state. Be it known to you that both nature and soul are without beginning and end, and also that maladies such as attachment, revulsion, and all the objects that are possessed of the three properties are born from nature. Whereas nature is said to be the begetter of deed and doer, the soul is said to be begetter of the experience of pleasure and pain. The nature-based soul experiences nature-born objects which are characterized by the three properties, and it is association with these properties that is the cause of his birth in higher or lower forms. Although residing in the body, the soul is transcendental and said to be the witness, the grantor, the enjoyer, and the great God and Supreme Spirit. In whatever manner he conducts himself, the man who knows the truth of the soul and nature with its three properties is never born again. While some perceive the Supreme Spirit in their heart by contemplation with their refined mind, some others know him by the yoga of knowledge, and yet others by the yoga of selfless action. But ignorant of these ways, there are yet others who worship by just learning the truth from accomplished sages, and, relying upon what they hear, they also doubtlessly steer across the gulf of the mortal world. Remember, O the best of Bharat, Arjuna, that whatever animate or inanimate being exists is born from the coming together of the insentient Kshetra and the sentient Kshetragya. He alone knows the truth who steadily sees the imperishable God in all animate and inanimate beings that are destructible. He achieves the supreme goal because, evenly perceiving the existence of the identical God in all beings, he does not himself degrade his self. And that man knows the truth who regards all action as performed by nature and his own soul as a non-doer. He realizes God when he sees the whole variety of beings as resting upon and as an extension of the will of that one Supreme Spirit. Although embodied, the imperishable Supreme Spirit is neither a doer nor tainted, because, O son of Kunti, he is without beginning or end and transcending all properties. As the all-extensive sky is unsullied because of its subtlety, even so the embodied soul is neither a doer nor tainted, because he is beyond all the properties. The soul illuminates the whole Kshetra, just as the one sun lights up the entire world. They who have thus perceived the distinction between Kshetra and Kshetragya, and the way of liberation from the maladies of nature, with the eye of wisdom, attain to the Supreme Spirit.